are about to tend to the graveyard. The devastating graveyard of dismal despair. I say that, it's actually quite fun and happy game. Fun and happy game. Oh, that's concerning. The game is not on my screen. Excellent, there we go. Is this the one where we become the graveyard? Yes. We become the entire graveyard. We encompass all of the corpses unto our own self and become the graveyard. See, he even gives it a thumbs up. Just the mere concept of becoming the graveyard. He's like, I agree, mate. I fully agree. I do like that little skeleton creature. Because it's such a... He does technically only have 3 fingers. But you know what? That's maybe something that happened during his life. I don't know. It's more likely a stylistic choice, but nonetheless, he's just such a happy little chappy with his little thumbs up, his little dead thumbs up. But I must admit that the DLC there, I've never really dwelled on it much. We've sort of been doing DLC a fair amount over the course of the stuff, but just the names are very daft and very parody based, and I do love them. The Breaking Dead, that's where you get all the zombies from, I think. Stranger Sins, I think, is the artifact, maybe. Game of Crone, I'm not 100% sure what that added. And Better Save Soul is where you've got all of the soul mechanics, basically. The whole sort of, you can build things, I think, using souls. You whip souls out of bodies. I haven't used them to their maximum, but I fear that is a fairly general problem I have. I rarely, if ever, use anything to its maximum. Not truly to its maximum. I'm sure there's more efficient ways of doing a lot of the things in this game. But, I do what I can. I do what I do when I do what I don't. Right, let's put that beer... Put my beer on the sideboard here. And then find a place for fat. Yeah, fat goes there. The fat goes there. God damn it, we need more water. Why do we seem to forever need more water? I wish there was a place to get more water instantly downstairs. But unfortunately, we have to keep using the well. Which is not like a huge drain on my resources, but it does take energy, and we just never seem to get as much water as I would like from this well. So do you know what? We're just going to well it up. Well. In theory, the fact that I want water, I suppose the well is supposed to be, although not anymore, I guess, but the well is supposed to be clean-ish water, I suppose. But yeah, the whole rain situation should technically help the water situation, I guess. Might make it a little easier. Right, there we go. Surely 17 buckets of water is going to be enough water to satiate this bastard thing for a prolonged period of time. Pop. There you go, look at that. 280 sodding bits of water you've got there. At least 280 sodding bits of water. Are you finally satisfied? Does this satisfy you, game? Just 300 odd buckets of drops of water. Does that satisfy you? It fucking better. Because I have got nothing left, sir. Nothing left. Oh, I didn't realise I'd got baked meat. Lovely, I mean, it's fine. I like the fact that I've got baked meat. Look, if I sit too close to the fire, that's my own lookout. You don't have to worry about my baked meat, but I do worry about my baked meat. Let's do a church service. Hello, I'd like to say a few words. Our church is great. Nice. It is, it is great. Now let us pray for this blessing. Ooh, that's a chunky amount of faith already. And this isn't even like the maximum prayer. This is, again, I could try and be more efficient and get even more prayer. And I could do like a money prayer. But, I don't know. I know. It's like I've got the option of fiddling around and trying to like build a money prayer, or I've got the option of just letting it go and tick over for a prolonged period of time. And to be honest, using up more time is enough for me. And I know that's not the way you should be doing things. What you should be doing is using everything to the most efficient fashion you can. Is there carrots in the box? There are carrots in a box. Excellent. Because we like ourselves some carrots in boxes. And now let's see. Do we have a shed load of nails? But we do not have a shed load of flitch. So let's get ourselves a shed load of flitch. Shall we get you... Are you able to do more nails? Whoops. Well, I guess you're sitting on the floor now. Yeah. Yeah, we can probably afford to do a load more nails there with you. Put you on there. Excellent. You gather me more nails. I'm gonna gather more flitch. That's probably too much flitch, truth be told. But there you go. We're just gathering money is essentially the primary goal in order to get that aristocracy. I'm just gonna buy my way into the upper classes. Is there any other way of doing it? I suppose being born into it. Being born into it or paying a lot of money. That's how you become an aristocrat. And I imagine you'd need a full-on surgery if you were to become an aristocrat, which was a hell of a Disney film. It's been years since I watched that film, but it was always one of my favourites, probably because it was to do with cats, I suppose. But yeah, it was a pretty awesome film. Wee, and lots. Oh, okay. 6. I suppose 6 will suffice. But selling these goods boxes should solve some money problems as well. I think I've got a zombie already dealing with that situation. I might find I'm wrong, but there you go. We shall have to wait and see. There we go. Sorted. And you're still building my nails. Excellent. I'm going to put my nails in a salon. Let's go spinning up the time travel. Rotate that clock, please, and get me to the next day. So this be Women's Day. I don't think we've got anything special on Women's Day, because it's Women's Day is basically Miss Charm's Day, and Miss Charm's Day is basically sort of I got to get that aristocrat papers, aristocrat papers. I need that for 2 people, which is why I'm slightly focused on it. Find out about the Keeper's Book. Yeah, I think I need to be higher level. Dig up the ancient shackles somewhere between the graveyard and swamp. We can probably do that. Shouldn't be too difficult. Take the amulet of the ancient god from the lighthouse keeper. Okay, we might be able to do that. The Undertaker wants a workbench. Can't remember what was required in terms of workbench, but still. Build the Marquis a workbench and ask him about the Misty Quagmire. Okay, let's deal with digging up this thing. Do I have enough space in my inventory? Rarely, if ever, do I have enough space in my inventory, but surprising everybody involved, I actually do have enough space in my inventory. I just have to be slightly cautious, because when morning comes, I believe we're going to get another body in the morgue, a body in the morgue, a body in the boom boom morgue. And there's that other one that was, what was it? I can count to 1. Nothing wrong with me. 2. Something, or I mean, that's the original lyrics ish. The other ones was like 1. I'm gonna count to something. 2. Gonna count to something. 3. And now I'm got to 4. Something along those lines. Anyway, so I got a random piece of obsidian. Cool. I don't know if I can do anything with obsidian. Ancient shackles. Well, there you go. That's what we wanted. Ancient shackles. Is there any other secret pieces of obsidian? I have my doubts. I think it's literally just the obsidian and the ancient shackles. There wasn't any extra dig spots around here. Because in terms of digging in this game, you can only really dig in a very specific place. I suppose the shovel is used for... Yeah, you can dig in, like, construction manners, but in terms of, like, you can't just randomly dig. You have to dig in specific spots, and those spots are those tufts of sort of mounds of dirt. Messing around with the deck I've made, and I'm very sad to see that the legendary dragons from Season 4 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Aren't actually cards, just the card used to summon them. Interesting. I think they do roughly a similar thing, though, do they not? So the Eye of Timaeus does fuse with another monster, and the oh, I see. I wanted to see if you could get a power onto the field that's greater than infinity. No, surprisingly, I don't think you're allowed to do that. I think they probably toned it down a little bit. They fuse with stuff, but yeah, you mean the actual dragon boys, don't you? Because that's how he did the Infinity Circle. He got the actual boy Timaeus, the actual boy Critias, and the actual boy Hermos. And I think it was, yeah, it was. I can't remember the exact scenario, but I only watched it a little while ago. So it was basically, there was definitely a part where I think it was Hermos attacked. And then I think he specified he was attacking from Hermos into Critias. Critias was summoning the power of Mirror Force to bounce it back to Hermos, who somehow managed to use some other card to then bounce it back to Critias, which obviously caused the Infinity Loop. And then he just randomly decided, I'm going to break that Infinity Loop and bring out the big golden knight as well, of course. The names of the legendary dragons come from the ancient philosopher Plato's workings. Really? I did not know that. The one I always think is quite entertaining, and I'm assuming it's just pure coincidence, or they deliberately went, it's a bit like it, so I'll give it to Joey. But the one that always gets me is the fact that Joey has one that sounds oddly like Hermos, and he's got the sort of epic quaff. And it's like, yep, is that deliberate? I don't know. But it's always how I remember. It's like, how do you remember which dragon went to which duelist? Well, I definitely know Hermos went to Joey because it sounds a bit like Hermos, and he's got the biggest... Well, he's not got the biggest hair, I wouldn't have said, I suppose, but he has certainly got a mighty quaff of hair. And studying the obsidian. Excellent. It cannot be decomposed into anything, but it does give a boatload of experience. Whoo, boy! That's a good amount of experience. But we still don't really know what the obsidian does. So for now, we'll pop it in a little chest and hope for the best. Oh, well, that's interesting. We do, however, have the research obsidian document. Again, not entirely sure what I can do with that, but we'll pop it on a shelf and hope for the best that it comes up as obvious later on. But yes, I've just gotten past the Legendary Dragons saga, or whatever they... Oh yeah, I remember what it's called now, because... And I know, I'm a sad, sad little child. But I just... The saga is called Yu-Gi-Oh! Waking the Dragons. Now I imagine, having just specified that I'm a sad little boy, I'm a sad, sad little man, you can guess what I think of when it comes up. I'll give you, in explicit terms, I just think of wanking the dragons. And I think it amuses me because of the fact that I think of wanking the dragons. Yeah. I always remember Joey had Hermos because he gets it, and then I believe he immediately fuses it with Time Wizard to make an equip spell. He has no idea what it does. Indeed, that is 100% spot on. He does exactly that because it turns out it's a time hammer, and it sends Mai's monsters into the future, and therefore they return. And I believe, yeah, basically he's on the verge of winning. Well, actually, it's a weird one because it's quite possible Mai could have come back. And, of course, Mai claims she would have won naturally. You know, you always do, don't you? But yeah, whatchamacallit? Oh god, yeah. Is it Alistair, that one? No, it's Valen. Valen, he talks like this, mate. I'm going to do something for you, Mai, and I think you're going to like it. He's ever so slightly... I don't know whether he's supposed to be British or Australian, but either way, it's like, hello, mate. I think he's supposed to be Australian, but it's very much, hello, mate. I don't think Joey knows what he wants with Mai. I'm the one for Mai. I love her. He is not cool. He's a fucking idiot. I mean, the only reason he's cool is because he's a biker. That's pretty much it. But then you suddenly realise that those three are just basically the biker mice from Mars, and it loses a little bit of oomph. But no, I do kind of like that. He was aiming for Cockney. Well, I mean, I'm not going to say swing and a miss, but I'm sort of thinking swing and a miss there. Bit of a swing and a miss, I think, there for Cockney. But I can sort of just about comprehend the idea of it potentially being Cockney, but it's not great. And it is like, hello, mate, you're all right. I think his deck is... Oh, yes, his deck is very cool. Yeah, I do quite like that idea. Although the only problem with his deck, of course... And it's funny, I was discussing this the other day. I can't remember how it came up, but for some reason we were talking about arses, I'm sure. And something to do with piles, maybe. I've no idea. But one of his cards is called Buster Pile. And it's like, I've got the amazing Buster Pile. And it's like, oof. Oh, mate, you want to get some ointment on that immediately, son. You do not want to be hanging around with your busted piles. You want to get those sorted. Get to the doctor. Get them lanced. Get them something. I don't know what, but fucking hell, son. You want to avoid buster piles. Which, yes, I know. It's even now it's making me giggle. And yes, if you're thinking to yourself, can you ruin literally everything you watch? Yes. Yes, I can. But yeah, that sort of Joey versus Valen one at the end of that sort of saga is quite something, where they're both in their battle armor going, punchings, which is relatively rare for Yu-Gi-Oh, of course, because they don't usually engage with one another quite so sort of distinctly. But it worked really nicely as a general concept, I think. I really rather enjoyed it as a whole duel, and then sort of the secondary duel, which is like weird, where it's like, okay, why they kind of went back to the same well a second time, because in the sort of Merrick chapters, is that something significant? No, just a red cloth, fair enough. In the Merrick chapters, of course, he ends up sort of not really losing to Merrick, but fainting because he's out of energy. And then the next series, during his duel with Valen and then straight into Mai, he loses because he's a little bit tuckered out. And it's like, wow, you sort of did the same gambit twice in a row, guys. I don't know whether there's some kind of significant reasoning behind it, or they just wanted, well, we want Joey to lose, but we don't want Joey to lose, but we want Joey to... It's a bit like when I used to watch the wrestling, the WWE wrestling, where it's like, okay, this is a big champion man who doesn't lose. This is also a big champion man who doesn't lose. How are they going to get themselves out of this situation? And then you very swiftly realise, partway through the match, it's going to be a disqualification, isn't it? And lo and behold, it became a disqualification. So I suppose it's that sort of mentality. They don't want Joey to lose, but they want Joey to lose. But they don't want him to lose, but they want him to lose. But they don't want him to lose, but they don't want him to lose. And so they eventually have to go, well, let him pass out. Then he's not lost, but he's lost. So I have dug up the shackles. But yes, I believe the 5th season is... The tournament in Kyberland is the beginning, and then it goes into Capsule Monsters. I think that's considered the 5th season, unless that's 5th season is Tournament, 6th season is classified as Capsule Monsters, but I think it's all one season. But I think I'm just shy of the final of just shy of the finale of the tournament, certainly. Capsules is its own season. I think, though, certainly I'm watching it on Amazon Prime at the moment, so I think Amazon Prime, and therefore sort of I'm assuming the English seasons, I think have combined those two, because the sort of tournament is fairly swift. I must admit, I always lose track of the episodes. I just end up sort of going, well, that's a one-off. I'll leave it there. Oh, this is a multi-parter. I'll just keep watching. It's not the best way of doing it, but it does allow you to watch all parts of the thing. But you do suddenly go, well, I just watched an hour and a half of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it was a 5-parter. Whoops. Whoopsie-doos. I really like that bit when he's fighting Marek, where he's out cold. Not out cold. Yes. I mean, don't get me wrong. I may take the mick, but they're both fantastic moments. It's just strange to me that they sort of went back to that well. Because, I mean, certainly against Marek, it's such a moment. And it really is like, holy fuck. He's actually going to beat Marek, isn't he? And then, oh dear, no, he's not. It's a powerful moment. Although nowhere near as powerful as, of course, my all-time favourite moment of the entire series ever. And it's one of those lines that sticks with me. It's always up there. Always in the brain. Simple words. Such drama. It only needs one of us. So I'm letting the seal take me. And you may think to yourself, you're saying that's a really dramatic moment, and it is. It's when Yugi sacrifices himself for the Pharaoh. He didn't need to do that. He could have just let the Pharaoh, sit in his own bed. He made the bed. He should sit in it. He should lie in the bed. But no, Yugi, being the kind-hearted, glorious man, boy, child he is, he sacrifices himself for the Pharaoh. And you're probably thinking, even you can't take the piss out of that scene, surely. I'm going to tell you here and now, yes, I fucking can. Because as much as it hits me hard, that line, it hits my heart, I can still take the piss. Because moments after that line, I do think to myself, it only needs one of us, so I'm letting the seal take me. Arf, 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 arf. Come on, Yugi. Arf, arf, arf. We're going back to the ocean. Arf, arf, arf. Because that's a seal. And I know. It's terrible. The fact that I can just take the piss out of everything. Even the things that give me the most emotion. Even the most emotional elements. It's magnificent. And yes, yeah, I know. Kaiba is a treasure. Kaiba is simply a treasure. Because, my God, the man is such an arsehole. And I love him so much for it. But yeah, he does just sort of, I'm about to die. I'm giving you all these life points. Don't screw it up, you little shit. He is so much fun. He's magnificent. I love him. He is my favourite character of all time. And Blue Eyes White Dragons are my favourite monsters of all times. And his coat is the pinnacle of coats. I'm sorely tempted. Every now and again, whenever I see Kaiba's coat, the white coat, his dueling coat, the proper coat, not his original purple, not his sort of partial slight white coat, but not in the main style. No, his full dueling coat, the dragon wing monstrosity that he wears. And by monstrosity, I mean that in a sort of positive way, despite the fact that monstrosity usually is in a negative way. But nonetheless, I love it. I love that coat. And I'm slightly tempted, like some of the people on YouTube who build weird and wonderful shit that they probably shouldn't be building, but they still build it. I'd love to perhaps ask them at one point, just put it in the comments to see if it sticks, but build an anime coat. Which basically, from my thoughts, Mokuba, fetch me my dueling coat. Exactly. That is, but in fairness, that is exactly what it is, because in this Kaiba tournament, of course, throughout the entire series, he's in like a suit, a white suit. And then, lo and behold, he comes in towards the end to defeat Siegfried and put Siegfried in his place. And he's in full dueling coat, so it really is sort of, fetch me my dueling coat. I need to beat a man to death with my monsters. Fetch me my dueling coat. But I got off topic and now I've forgotten what I was saying. What was I saying? It's because I read, yes, that's right, I'll sacrifice a god as well, which didn't help. I've lost the flow. Kaiba, oh yeah. Challenge a YouTuber to, one of the sort of engineer YouTubers, to build Kaiba's coat. Because the way I see it, what you'd want to do is run servos and metal struts through the coat's tail part, so that you could then somehow, and again, this would be clever engineering via servos, controller units, and stuff like that, but so that you can actually change the orientation of the coat, so you can always have a coat blowing in the wind, even when there's no wind, and the fact that you can also have it spiked up to be full anime coat at all times. That would be magnificent. Really looking forward to rewatching Yu-Gi-Oh! It's fantastic, it really is. Listen, did you happen to see a loud and obese woman in the tavern asking about me? No, some kind of problem? It's my former wife, an awful woman. She accuses me of robbing her. It was only fair compensation for a great many spoiled years of my life. A bit of linen, some dishes, a picture, this amulet. All our savings. Is it the amulet of the ancient guard? Would you sell it to me? Oh, the jet dragon is it's such a beautiful thing. Especially the fact that it's got like autopilot as well. And it's so good. It reminds me of what day I won my freedom. Damn, I'll have to ask Snake to steal it. Okay, so we need Snake to steal the amulet. Fair enough. I can probably do that. I think I've got all the top fishings. I feel like I've got a lure with a gem somewhere. Can't say that with absolute certainty, but I feel like I've got one somewhere. Right, let's have a look. I suppose let's go see if the thing that I've got in my hands is the correct item for doing this. Also, excellent, more monies. Still shy of that damnable 12 gold though. Very frustrating. Marking out all the moments you remember, yeah. Oh, and yeah, which is theoretically good for Blue Eyes decks and pretty neat design. Yeah, I must admit, I'm slightly intrigued by the jet. I think I did pull one the other day when I was sort of just pulling packs because I was depressed about how shit I was doing, which is usually what happens. Oh, okay, the amulet I think is the first one. So yeah, okay, the amulet's the first one. Fine. I will have to take my shackles. I'll put my shackles on a shelf, and then I'll leave it. Oh, so what do we want to do now? I suppose, well, it is Snake's Day next, so that's something at least. Hold on, Noah. Kaiba still has some life points left, and I'm going to do something insane and take over from Kaiba. Despite the fact that this is obviously a bad idea, because he's only got like 400 left, I think, and you've got a monster that's supreme and unbelievable. And yet somehow I still pull back and win the duel. Because I'm Yugi, and I win all of the duels, apart from one. Or I think in his entire career, and feel free to correct me, but I think in his entire career, specifically the Pharaoh, I'm going to state here, specifically the Pharaoh, only loses 2 duels? One with the Seal of Orichalcos, where his anger and hubris get the better of him. And the second, the very, very finale, where he actually loses to Yugi. And I think those are the only 2 times. Oh, he loses a 3rd one. Ooh. I don't remember him losing a 3rd one, but... Pray tell, which one does he lose as a 3rd one? I'm curious. Should stream the deck pack pulls, those are always fun. Ugh. I feel like they'd be terribly boring. Oh, yes, technically, yeah, you're right. Yeah. They sort of... It's an interesting one. Because they, of course, don't specify that he lost. but the fact that Joey then just turns up with his Red Eyes Black Dragon does highly suggest it. Yeah. They don't fully sort of go, yeah, he lost. But they equally just sort of gloss over the fact that Joey just now suddenly has his Red Eyes back. Which says that, basically, exactly what you're saying. It says that Yugi did lose. Which is... it's an interesting one. Because it's like, are we sure? Are we sure Yugi lost that? Because it's not kind of... But did he lose deliberately, maybe? Did he just friendly lose to Joey just so that Joey could get his little card back? Nobody knows. And I imagine not that many people care as much as I would care, but still. Right, I believe I just want 10. So I'm going to have to just carry on going. Which means that Joey beat a deck with an Egyptian god card in it. I mean, theoretically, he would have beaten a deck with all 3 Egyptian god cards in it. Although Yugi rarely puts the Egyptian god cards in his deck post having the Egyptian god cards. It's like, I've got these supreme cards. No, I don't think I'll bother. But I suppose the idea is it's like, okay, well, fair enough. It's more dramatic if he's, unwilling to use his god cards because of their sheer unadulterated power. Let's craft some iron ore. I don't know. Yugi only had Slifer at the end of Season 2. Interesting. Are you quite sure? I mean, you seem quite sure, but I'm not convinced. Because my recollection of the sequence of events is Battle City, Joey loses his Red Eyes to the Rare Hunter. Then Yugi battles the Rare Hunter to get the Red Eyes back. Joey declines the Red Eyes and keeps it with Yugi. The entirety of the Battle City tournament takes place, including the blimp, including the Noah arc, including the final, because I'm fairly certain the Red Eyes is pinnacle in beating Merrick. And then at the end of that entire arc, you get, well, this is what the Millennium Necklace showed me. Isn't this convenient, Joey? We meet here. If you beat me, you can have your Red Eyes back, or something like that. And it then ends on this sort of dramatic kind of image of the two facing off against one another. And then following season, I've got my Red Eyes back. That's not what Joey sounds like. Hey, you! I got my Red Eyes back. That's not what he sounds like either, but it's closer. Baby dragon. Got me a baby dragon. You. It is a very iconic voice, in fairness. But I'm pretty certain that's the one. Yeah. Doodle doo doo doo. Yeah, we might as well build the iron ingots. Earning guts, earning guts. Everybody earning guts. So theoretically, at that point, he does have Slifer the Sky Dragon, the Winged Dragon of Ra, and Obelisk the Tormentor. Doodle-doo. Do I have a body? Do I have a body? Do I have a body in the Boom Boom Morgue? No. Okay. I suppose let's have a look at my research. Although, no, it's Snake's Day. Let's go deal with Snake. Let's go deal with Snake. Hopefully he'd steal my... I want to know how that duel went. I sort of do as well, yeah. Because as I say, it's weird. The idea of Yugi losing is weird. But then maybe it was Yugi dueling rather than the Pharaoh dueling. In which case it's a little bit more reasonable, the idea of Yugi losing perhaps. But it is one that's like, okay, and he just has that dragon back. Okay, fine. It's one that it arguably it would have probably made a decent film, but I think that was too early for them, having decided they were going to do films. But obviously, like the Yugi versus Kyber, I think was an entire film itself, so they could have done a Joey versus Yugi one. Oh yeah, yes, you're quite right. Yeah, he does technically lose in season 1 where Kyber threatens to kill himself. Yeah, you're quite right. 100% spot on. Not sure that guy stinks of raw fish and I'm allergic to fish scales. I'm afraid I must refuse. God damn it, man. Fine, well that's locked for now. Okay. Necklace, yeah, okay. I have not got the golden apple because I still need... I can't quite remember. Aristocrat papers. Maintenance to a workbench. Supplying my blood. Deal with the workbench. Amulet of the ancient god from the lighthouse keeper. Okay. I'll make Nick watch GX as well as OG Yu-Gi-Oh! Now see, GX is a difficult series. Now I suppose arguably it's because I watched the dubbed version, and yeah, it is what it is. I prefer hearing it in English. I can't help it. But the fact that they didn't finish it is soul crushing. Because I kind of want to see the end. I want to know how it ends. And it's like, no, I can just finish the dub. Finish the dub, please. But GX for me starts a little bit rough. Because it's very short duels that I prefer multi-part duels. But it's very short duels and very little sort of overarching story. It's all just sort of day to day. Hey, look, we're going to do a duel today. Hey, look, we'll do another duel tomorrow. Oh, look, we're going to do another duel. Which isn't necessarily bad. It's just it's not the original Yu-Gi-Oh. But then I think it expanded out quite nicely towards the end of the season, where basically they went for the traditional Japanese trope of, hey look, we need to face off against a big villain, and by big villain I do mean big. He becomes Big Buff Boy, and Japanese anime really likes a big buff boy as the enemy. Persona 5 did it. Persona 5 did Big Buff Boy as big baddie. Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 1, timid little Professor Banner. Oh, I'm little thin Professor Banner. Now I'm Big Buff Boy Professor Banner. I'm Big Buff Boy Banner. But they absolutely love a Big Buff Boy in Japan. Right, what are we trying to do? I don't know. There's so many things and so very many non-things that I can't do. I keep getting... It's another game that just keeps going, nope. And it's frustrating. I don't immediately remember the Blair duel. Blair is the little girl who pretended to be a little boy? I haven't watched GX in a long while. I might possibly consider going straight from the original Yu-Gi-Oh! To GX, but I probably want a gap in between. Because I do remember I do have a tendency of getting sort of slightly burnt out on Yu-Gi-Oh! If I watch too many of them. But then again, that sort of fits with any series. I absolutely adore sort of other series as well, but if they're sort of super long running seasons, it is a bit sort of like, I think I want to watch something else now. Which I don't, yeah, as I say, I don't think that's a reflection on the season. I think that's just a thing. Possibly a little ADHD flaring in there, maybe. I don't know. Right, let's deal with these body parts. And then, I don't know. I was going to have a look at the prayers, maybe. But I must admit, my favourite thing of GX is Hasselberry. I loved Hasselberry. I don't even know why. I just absolutely loved Hasselberry. I suppose arguably I do know why. Dino DNA. The sheer ridiculousness of that. It's like the audacity The audacity of them to turn around and go, I broke my leg in an archaeological dig, and the only way they thought to fix it was stick a dinosaur bone in it. It's like, fuck off. That is such nonsense. I love it. I love it deeply. And so, yeah, I adore Hasselberry. So every time Hasselberry is available, it's better for me. But there you go. Right, so let's have a look. So I think if I really want to go money, I'd want to buy that. Which means I do just need a chapter, which we can probably do. I just need more paper. I need more ink. Okay. And I need more paper. I suppose we can get... I got pigskin, pigskin paper for days. We'll try and deal with this paper situation and then have a sleepy. And then, one of the other things I need to try and remember is the ghost situation we had. I feel like we had a problem with the ghost and I can't remember what that problem was. And the fact that I can't remember what the problem was means I can't really fix the problem. So I don't know if that's going to be one of those odd little ones where I'm going to have to look it up just to finish it off. I suppose I can probably, as a first resort, we'll perhaps pop into the dungeon and see if we can find anything out. She fights Jaden and his monsters start getting affected by her cards, so they have the dialogue of them being in love with her maiden cards, and the Jaden summons Burstinatrix and uses a spell card to return Avion and Sparkman to his hand. And you get the amazing line of dialogue of, "Oh no, Spark Woman will be so disappointed in me." Oh dear, I must admit I don't immediately recall that one, but that does sound very silly. I vaguely remember the rest of it. I just don't remember the line. But that is magnificent. So stupid. Which is what's perfect. That's why it works so well. I think as a series, they know when to sort of go. This is time to be stupid. This is time to be dramatic, and they can hit that balance point so nicely that it's very entertaining. And that's basically why I absolutely adore Yu-Gi-Oh! I suppose. Right, so let's have a sleepy. What else do I have spare in my inventory? Oh, salt. Let's put the salt away. There we go. I also want to give a shout out to the monkey being trained how to duel on the island. Is called Joey. Yes. Or was it? Yeah, I can't remember. I'll take your word for it on this occasion, without sort of doubting. Well, I say that, I'm doubting. Everything you're about to say is doubting. What the fuck are you talking about, you dickhead? Yes, I suppose I am technically doubting you, but was it called Joey or was it called Wheeler? Because there's a part of me feeling like it was called Wheeler. But yes, I suppose Kyber is petty enough to call a monkey Wheeler. Or Monkey Joey, whichever it turns out to be. But yeah, that was quite entertaining. Especially sort of the... it was Wheeler! Damn it, Wheeler! Right, I'm going to... Is that what you're going to do? Yes, I'm thinking about going... But I'm thinking about going down into the dungeon and seeing what happens. Seeing if we can figure out the problematic situation that we face. Because I think this is where the ghost is, right? And the ghost wanted me to do something, but I can't for the life of me remember what that sodding thing is. Or this was just locked, maybe, and I needed a key? I suppose there's no real point in speculating. I might as well. Also, Wheeler is only called that in the dub. I see. Now that I did not know. But then again, I suppose I did look up, of course, Grandpa in the tournament we were talking about, the Grand Championship, I think it's called. In that, he's called Apnag Otum, which is Grandpa Moto backwards. And I was wondering to myself, what is the significance? He's got sixes on his overalls, and it's like, that feels like it's probably got some kind of significance somewhere. And it turns out that it sort of did. It's basically, he was called Roku 6 or something, or something Roku. I can't remember what the bloody fact was now, which is awesome. But I'm fairly certain he was called Roku, which means 6 in Japanese or something along those lines. And suddenly it was like, oh, I see. Well, that's the significance of having a 6 on his overall. Plus he was using sort of rock-based monsters, which I don't know whether that had any significance to it or not, but still. Right, I'll need a key to go any deeper. Okay, so I do need a key. I need to ask Snake about the key. There was definitely some ghost situation here, wasn't there? Ugh. I just don't know. I'm slightly stuck. But there you go. Is there a I mean, does Sal mean anything? SAL? Is that meant to sort of stand for something, or did they not address that? Nope, just Sal. Fair dues. Subject Alpha Lima, maybe. I doubt that, but you never know. Right, so let's have a look at these quests again. Charm, Keeper's Book, Ritual. It's a reference to Kaiba calling Joey a dueling monkey in the dub. Yes. Certainly that was what I always knew was the reason why he was called Wheeler. Get aristocrat papers, that needs money. Supplying blood, that's not going to help me. Quagmire, that's not going to help me. Amulet, that's not going to help me. Make an install a workbench, that's not really going to help me. But I suppose let's go investigate what I need for workbenches. Although unfortunately mirroring over to this place does sort of leave me in a bit of a predicament. So, Undertaker's workplace. Boards and nails. So 10 and 16. Either way, it doesn't matter. 10 and 16. But unfortunately, now I'm just a Was it? I think there was a meme as well to do with Kaiba. I mean, there's many memes to do with Kaiba, I'm sure, but specifically one of them was I don't accept bullies in my tournaments, or I don't accept bullies in my games. Immediately bullies Joey Wheeler, which I thought was quite amusing. The man tried to transcended life and death so that he could have one. Yes, I know. I remember that. That's the film, isn't it? I do wonder if there's any idea if there's any films post that film, because I don't have much of a clue. I've not kept up with it, unfortunately. Where do we want to go? Sweet home. And now build things. Not sure either. That's fair. But I do sort of hope. I do kind of hope they do another film, because as much as I like the series, the films are so much bigger and so much grandioser. And yes, grandioser is a word. And what is it? I don't know. Again, I'm not sure whether this was a true line from the film or just a Mickey take somewhere. But there's that thing where it was like he throws a coffee cup to the ground or something. I think you may have mentioned it and you may have linked it or something, possibly. This is maybe where it's fresher in my mind. But he throws a coffee cup and it's like, fire the man who invented that cup. And it's like, wow, you are such an arsehole. And I love you for it. I love you for being an arsehole. The man is a truly, truly magnificent arsehole. That is an actual line from the movie. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And I think I was looking up lines from Kaiba, because obviously on the soundboard I do have...
It's time to duel!
Oops,
yes, it was an excellent duel. No! I've been defeated!
I didn't know that was going to be a thing. Back to general gameplay, please. Apparently, I've got that set up on a shortcut. I did not know this. Anyway, but yeah, I've got some Yugi lines on the soundboard. And I was looking for some Kaiba lines, but couldn't really find any that I really liked. And it was interesting, one of the comments below, though, did specify that in the English dub, Kyber is a lot more of just a big old dick than he is in comparison to when he's doing when he's in the Japanese version. I think he's meant to be a lot more of an arse in the sort of American dub thing, which almost pleases me that we've managed to make him a bigger dick than he is originally. It's something to be proud of, I think. We've made Kyber into a larger prick than he already was. Do we have a spare? Excellent. Yeah, that's what we wanted. I do also have a piece of honey within me. I'm not being funny. I just wanted a piece of honey. Yeah, honey goes upstairs. Put the honey up the stairs so that you can stick on the stairs. Dub teams manage to improve things. Sometimes they don't. True, very true. Right, I think we'll have a little sleep here and then probably put it away because we are past midnight and we didn't get very far. We didn't really do anything, which is unfortunate. But one day, we will in fact do something. Whoopsie doodles! Didn't mean to get back into bed, but I can respect and understand the feeling of getting up in the morning and going, no. Sometimes it is really that simple. You wake up in the morning and you just go, no, thank you, not today. Call again tomorrow. I'm not into the idea of doing the things today. Sorry. Please go away. Anyway, that is going to be the entirety of the Stremingtons. I'll probably leave raiding again, I think. If you are interested in options, I'll give you a few options so you can look them up. But there's Super Nell ES, Rhino Cuddy, Cinder Play, Nickel City X-Wing, Scotchbox VR, D&D, just straight up D&D, Happy Kraken X. I admit, didn't know she had an X on the end of her name, but she does Sea of Thieves. Barry is streaming. If you want more Monkey Island, if you want more monkey than your body can handle, you could pop over to Barry is streaming, and he is doing Return to Monkey Island. And then you've also got Smite Game and Warframe. They rhyme. I don't think they intended to rhyme, but they do. They rhyme. They rhyme real good. But there you go. There's some options if you particularly wanted to carry on your wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Anyway, I mean, I'll probably be back next Thursday. There's an element of doubt there, but we'll have to just wait and see. Hopefully, because I do want to finish off Monkey Island. But yeah, there is always the possibility that it will change in some fashion. I don't know. And then what's happening after that, I do not know. Possibly try and do the second Monkey Island into then Return of Monkey Island. That's the general gist of the plan. And then maybe might do a break of something like that, but then maybe do some other Monkey Islands. I do quite like the third one. I quite enjoyed the fourth one. The one I refer to as the PlayStation 2 one, because I had it on the PlayStation 2. It's that simple. Sometimes it doesn't have to be complicated, it just has to be that simple. But there's a line in that one that I particularly like, which I can't remember the exact name of the coffee, but it is sort of basically a very long coffee name, where it's like, can I get a mocha chocolate from Star Buccaneers? And I adored the idea of Star Buccaneers. I thought it was a very entertaining play on the words of Starbucks and Buccaneers and stuff, and I thought it was brilliant. And even, as I say, the coffee name, although I can never remember it, I always found that to be a brilliant sort of Mickey take as well. But anyway, that's for maybe futures. As I say, there's also plans on revisiting the Secret Files, which I'll tell you what, we'll just have a quick butchers, because I can just nail it down. There you go. So there is Secret Files Tunguska, which is the one we all know from the past. Then I believe, I'm not sure which one is the second one. I don't think that's the second one. I think that's the second one. Oh, it may not say it in the quick view, but it does say it in the sort of splash screen. Secret Files 2 Puritas Cordis, that one I've definitely played as well. And then there's Secret Files 3, which again, I think I've played that one. I'm not sure. That one's a bit more debatable as to whether I've played that one. And then there's also Secret Files Sam Peters, who I think she's a side character in Puritas Cordis, and then becomes the main character in her own spin-off of game of it's just called Sam Peters. Hello, I'm Sam Peters. I've named my game Sam Peters. I know it's not very inventive, but I am in fact Sam Peters. But anyway, that's would be optimal, ideal plans, but there's others in between, and other bits and pieces and life that may get in the way. So we shall wait and see. Anyway, I will say cheerio. Also, thank you for the birthday cake, I suppose. Yeah, there you go. It has revealed you. It didn't initially. It didn't initially reveal you as the birthday cake botherer. Birthday cake blunderer. The birthday cake buccaneer. But, oh yes, Nani. You've been found out. Your birthday cakes have been found out. Anyway, I'm going to say cheerio again now, so cheerio.